Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly and welcome to my free guide to the Practice Parents Toolkit. I'm going to introduce to you my 3 E's for successful practice and maximising your child's potential. So let's get started. In this training video, you will learn which basics need to be in place so that your child wants to engage in practice, how to know what content your practice needs to cover before your next lesson, and what further study will help you to create the perfect learning environment for your child. This training is designed for parents who already practice with their child at home and support them in their lessons, and this can be on any instrument. This is for you if you're a parent who believes that your child is hugely capable and if you want your child to perform at their highest level. This is for you if you want your child to both love and progress on their instrument, and if you want to stop fighting during practice and start strengthening your relationship instead. This training has been designed for you if you need to communicate so that your child really listens, and if you're prepared to create a space in which your child really loves to learn. And finally, this is for parents who are looking for personalised, expert advice that doesn't take up all that precious time in your child's music lesson. So this could be you. This is a message that we got from one of our lovely parents, Vivian, while she was on our last Practice Parent course. She says that they had a wonderful practice session, she was able to give specific praise, and that not only did she feel calm, but her child also noticed that she was calm, and that they had a wonderful time together. I've been playing the violin since I was 5 years old. I started with the Suzuki method and I really enjoyed the process, and I love the relationship that I have with my mum now, who practiced with me for all of those years. I went on to study the violin at the Royal Northern College of Music, where I quickly realised that my passion was for teaching and also for child psychology, growth mindset, attachment theories, stress regulation. I've been really excited to wrap those up with Suzuki philosophy. So I have been teaching the violin for 13 years now, and for 11 of those with the Suzuki method. I'm a fully trained Suzuki teacher to all levels with the European Suzuki Association, and I completed my Music in Education and Community pathway at the Royal Northern College of Music. For the last decade, I have been designing and delivering parent talks to my own studio as part of my home program, to other Suzuki studios around the world, to Suzuki workshops and Suzuki institutes, and to non-Suzuki studios and music services around my area. So having spoken to many parents around the world who work with their children in practice, these are some of the problems that I hear on a day-to-day basis. I wonder if you can relate to any of these. Do you go through progress cycling, where your motivation is low, technique is starting to fall off, and you feel like you have to work really, really hard with your child to pick things up? And maybe it's not very easy to be positive at this time. But then as you're working really, really hard and progress is starting to soar, you feel that you can take your foot off the gas and the cycle starts all over again. Does it feel like practice time is a battle or a chore instead of something that you and your child look forward to? Perhaps you feel like you want to have fun and you want to be that positive parent, but you're already frustrated by yesterday's time wasting or back talk or lack of focus or lack of motivation or arguing. Do you worry that if you didn't nag and work with your child so hard that they would quit their instrument? Perhaps you worry that without your help they wouldn't progress at all. Do you feel that the amount of work that you need to do for your next lesson is overwhelming? And on the other side, I know parents have felt that their workload is underwhelming and they've been doing the same thing for weeks and haven't made much progress. So why do these problems exist, and what are the obstacles to the path of success? One of your obstacles is climbing solo. Parenting in the modern day and age can feel so isolating. We need other parents around you who are going to keep you accountable and not only are understanding of the situations you are in, but also are learning the same skill sets. Just like Ideally, your child is having an individual music lesson to pick up their skill set and is also in a group or an ensemble where they can see their peers and understand how normal what they are experiencing is and how they can get to the top. Successful people have a team. Let's look at some of the most successful icons of our day and age. Beyonce, the CEO of Zoom, Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan wanted to become the best basketball player in the world, he made sure he went out and got the best basketball coach. This is like you having your amazing instrumental teacher. However, he didn't just stop there. He hired Tony Robbins to make sure that he had the best mindset to be able to take on the coaching. And he also got Tim Grover involved to make sure that he was in the best physical shape to make sure that he could understand and take on all that rigorous coaching from his basketball coach. It's important to have a team to help you get to the top. Another obstacle for parents is time. Our time is so full nowadays, especially with having to ferry your children from school to other activities to making sure that their lives are full and doors are open. There is very little time left for you to figure out what you need and to be able to extend your skill set to be able to helping yourself and your child. Time is also difficult in your music lesson. As a music teacher, I often find that I have this half an hour to an hour of individual time with a student, and I have to choose between teaching the child their skill set, teaching the child how to practice, or working with the parent on their practice skills. All three are incredibly important, but whichever way I focus, progress is going to slow down because we need all three of those things to be able to progress fast. And finally, parents are facing so much information anxiety. We live in this amazing era where you have information at the click of your fingers, at the touch of a button. However, there is so much conflicting advice out there. And if you tried every single thing that you read on the internet or in a book, your child would be so confused. And how do you decide what it is that works for you and your family without someone sitting there to help you? It's really important to make sure that you can find out what works best for you and your child. So what you really need is the trifecta. You need your environment. We talk about this in terms of Suzuki Children a lot, having the right environment for the child, but we really need the right environment for the parent as well. You need to have your team. You need to have other parents who are going through the same thing as you, learning the same skill set as you, and are able to keep you accountable and give you ideas. You need to have the right habits. We talk about this for Suzuki Children all the time, making sure that they are practicing. But what about for you? We need to make sure that your habits as a practice parent are working so that your time is efficient. And finally, strategy. In terms of music students, we want them to have the right skill set. But what about you as a parent? You need to have the right strategy that's personalized and working for you so that you don't end up with information anxiety. So what we're looking for here is transferable information. Here is a testimony from Pippa McMillan, who's a fantastic Suzuki teacher and parent who's gone through my parent course. And she felt that the skills that you can get from this course would benefit any parent to work with their child in any situation, because what you as the parent bring to the space is so important. So grab yourself a pen and some paper, and if you want to take massive action and find out how you can get tangible results with your child within days, make sure you stay till the end to see how you can get this personalized to you. So here are the 3 E's to successful practice. If you imagine your practice as a temple, you need 3 strong pillars: efficient, effective, and enjoyable. So let's dive right in. The practice time that you carve out to spend with your child is so precious in the busy schedule that you have. You need your practice to be efficient so that the time that you have is utilized to the very maximum. To become efficient, we need to identify if your basics are strong. Imagine somebody wants to learn how to do a pull-up, so they join the gym. Now, to do a pull-up, you have to be able to have a strong back and lats. But instead of training those muscles, they're training their shoulders and their thighs. They're not going to be able to get strong enough to lift themselves off the ground, even if they go to the gym every day for months. So we need to fix your foundations. Parents need to have high expectations. They need to have a clear practice schedule. They need to have a plan for each practice and offer plenty of specific praise. And using play-based learning tactics will make your practice more efficient because children want to learn when they're having fun. Offering plenty of specific praise is really important because without it, children don't know what progress looks like. We can say, "You've done that really well, that was good, that was great," all we like. But then if we ask the child to fix it, they're going to be upset because if it was so good, why are we asking for more improvement? Instead, we need to be finding the exact thing that they have improved on so that they can see that progress has both happened and what to do next time. So we need to identify and fix the issues in your foundation practice to make your practice efficient. Effective practice means that progress is going to continually be able to grow from the progress that was made the day before. It's no good doing practice day on day when you're repeating the same thing over and over again. Slow progress is often a symptom that the task has been misunderstood. Imagine that Bob and Jane both have a tree that they need to cut down and they're both given the same kind of axe. They don't have very long, so Bob starts hacking at the tree straight away. However, Jane decides to check her axe and make sure that it's sharp enough first. So in the half an hour that Bob has started cutting down his tree, Jane has been sharpening her axe. It looks like Bob has made more progress, but when Jane comes to cut down her tree, she does it in a third of the time. Progress can move faster if you understand the skill set that's needed behind it. So the gateway to progress is understanding the homework and making sure that you understand what your teacher would like to see the next lesson. Teachers often complain, and myself included, that lessons often have to be taught multiple times before the child has enough of the current skill set to be able to learn the next one. This is really important because if you don't have a fully solid foundation, eventually the new skills will be so hard that either you have to come backwards, which doesn't feel like progress and will slow motivation down, or you keep going until everything feels so hard that the child eventually quits. So it's important to ask the right questions in your lesson, to take the right notes, to understand the skill progression to what you're trying to work at, and make a list of priorities with your teacher's help of what you should be focusing on and how you can break down the skill set to communicate to your child over the week. So you need to analyze the information from your lesson to make your practice more effective. And finally, I feel that this pillar is the most important. Enjoyable. You want your practice to be enjoyable. However, if your practice is not already effective and efficient, then you cannot make your practice enjoyable enough for progress to work. So what is holding you back from having an enjoyable practice? Perhaps you are experiencing delay tactics, or that you and your child are lacking in motivation. Perhaps you or your child feels that you cannot push through the hard stuff because you lack focus or you have a fixed mindset, and all of these things create frustration. So why do we experience these roadblocks to enjoyment? Well, imagine somebody taking their child out for a walk. Perhaps they get unlucky with the weather and they don't have the right equipment. They don't have an umbrella, they don't have the right jackets, they don't have a water bottle for when their child is thirsty. They're both wearing the wrong shoes. They're both uncomfortable and the child begins to whine, even if the parent then pushes through with positivity, they're not going to be able to strengthen their bond. They're not going to be able to enjoy the surroundings. And when they get home and the parent asks the child, would you like to go for another walk tomorrow? The child says, no, thank you. However, imagine that this parent was on the walk with their child and they were unlucky, but they had the right equipment with them. They had a decent jacket or an umbrella. They were both wearing comfortable shoes and had a water bottle in their backpack. Now the child is more able to enjoy their surroundings. The parent and child can bond and talk and laugh. And when they get home, when the parent asks if the child would like to go on another walk, the child says, actually, that was quite fun. Yes, please. So how can we improve our child's surroundings so that they are more able to enjoy the practice in front of them? Well, whatever philosophies you're using, perhaps it's Suzuki philosophies or positive parenting techniques, you want to back your strategies with science. Here are some ideas. You could use stress regulation techniques to optimize your child's daily learning potential, and that means that they'll be in the emotional and physical right place to learn. The same techniques will help you to strengthen your relationship along the way. You want to create a safe space for your child, which means that they need to have the right boundaries to feel safe. They also need to feel that their own boundaries are respected, which means you have to understand what boundaries are appropriate for your child's age range. You need to understand the cause behind conflict between you, and that's going to come down to attachment theory and to personality types. And you'll want to have some negotiation tactics under your belt so that you can understand when is appropriate to be negotiating with your child and when you can use it effectively. Today, I would like you to have a look at your child's learning style. It's very easy to go online and take a test to see what your child's primary learning style is. Are they a kinesthetic learner, which means they learn with the whole body? Are they an auditory learner, which means they learn by listening? Or are they a visual learner, which means that they want to learn with their eyes? You want to understand your child's primary learning style, but also their secondary learning style, and also your own learning style so that you can understand how best you relate to your child. Then you can go back to step 2 and make your practice more effective, because you'll be able to apply your child's learning style to breaking down the information that you have in the lesson. For instance, if your child is the kinesthetic learner, you may want to move around the room. You may want to place a lot of teddies around the room, and if they're learning a new song, have them move from one teddy to another so that they are linking movement to how the music changes. If they're an auditory learner, you may want to attach words to the song so that you are able to pick up in the middle where your child is struggling, sing it to them, and they'll understand where they're going wrong. And if your child is a visual learner, you may want to use Lego blocks or colours or different types of drawings on a board where they can see and map out where they're going. So our third pillar, you want to learn different strategies to make your practice more enjoyable. Now, if you put all of those things together, you are going to see that your progress starts to become sustainable and steady, and you'll stop progress cycling. Your child is going to be able to take full advantage of their instrumental lessons. And because of that, your child is going to achieve faster progress and higher results. And off the back of that, they're going to feel more confident amongst their peers and while they're on stage performing. You're also going to notice that during your practice sessions, your relationship will strengthen. And at the end of it, your child will foster a lifelong love of music and their instrument, and also of learning. So I would love to introduce to you the Practice Parent Toolkit. This is where we're going to put all the 3 E's together and make sure that you are well equipped to handle any issues that rise up in your practice. So in your toolkit, you want to have realistic and high enough expectations for your child and their level. You want to have strategies for conflict resolution. You want to make sure that your learning materials are within reach. Any toys, games, or books that you need are already ready before you start your practice. Make sure that you've built a routine that works for you. A lot of families feel that a military routine would make them stressed. And whilst you don't need to have a military routine, you do need to have a routine that you can communicate effectively to your child, because then you can be more relaxed. You need to communicate effectively with your teacher. Do you understand the best way that they like to be contacted if you are having a problem? And create a flowchart of when and how to use all of your tools in your kit so that you can cut off issues before they take root. Don't forget, you will need a different toolkit for each of your children. So how can you personalise your toolkit? Well, here is a testimony from Jing, a lovely Suzuki parent who took our last practice course. In her testimony, she says that I hold her hand the whole way. I motivate her day by day, and I hand her the strategies. Not only do I give her those strategies, but I look at her practice videos to make sure that those strategies are working for her children and help her to adapt them if need be. I also give her the community of parents who keep her accountable and give her lots of ideas and support. So if you would like to have your toolkit personalised for you, I've set some time aside to speak to you about maximising your practice strategy and also to see if I'm the right person to help you. We'll assess how strong your 3 E's are so that you can see what you need to focus on. I have to stress that this is not a sales call because I don't even know if I can help you yet. But if I am positive that I can get you results that you can see within days, I may invite you to join us in a program with other parents going through the same issues so that we can redesign your practice together. If the invitation is made, there is absolutely zero pressure to accept. It really will be entirely up to you. So how can you take advantage of your free strategy call? Well, somewhere around this video, I have dropped a link and you can click on that to go straight to booking your call. Otherwise, the link is here, kimberlywong.com/toolkit. Make sure you book your call first and then fill in the application form. Without this, your call will be cancelled because I need a jumping off point to figure out where I can help you strategize. And finally, I want to say a big thank you from me and also from your child for spending this time making your practice more successful. I really look forward to speaking to you soon.